make someone feel so good before
Oh
they
my
come?
gosh. It's easy, my friend. I'll never forget. I'll never forget meeting you at that Ohio conference. And I sat in on your science session. And I remember one of my favorite times of that entire conference when we were there for that week was you. I walked up, teachers were doing, I want to say it was something with like styrofoam or melting something in a cup of water. And I just remember your face when yours didn't go the best and you were like, oh my gosh, Adam, I hope this works better for the teachers. So like, I could sit and listen to you talk all day long. So that. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I really am. So was that I am good 2021 school year is almost over good, or are you really doing great right now?
No, it's over.
It's been a year. That's for sure. You know what? Our friend Diddy Wills and I were just talking about this on a podcast this morning. I said, you know what? I've never ever been a teacher who has put up like a countdown to celebrate the end of the year, right? Like I'm all about teachers who want to celebrate everything we've learned this year and we count down the year like that. But I said, I can guarantee you there's a lot of teachers who have never put up a countdown before that are putting one up this year. It's tough. Well, tell the viewers about you, what you teach, just the amazing person you are.
Well, I am in Alabama, and I'm in my 13th year of teaching, and I'm teaching kindergarten. And our school, like, set up this year, so the parents got to choose if they wanted to come back traditional, if they wanted to do remote. And so our principal, thankfully, made some of us remote and then some of us traditional. We have to do the craziness of both. And I ended up being remote. So I've been remote the whole year. Yeah.
Is that a yeah, you know what? How I gotta applaud your administration for doing that, because as someone who is witnessing firsthand, because my wife is doing hybrid, I think I put something on Instagram last week and I was happy to see the support because I was worried I was going to get someone poking at me, but I put up a thing that just said, hybrid is not the answer. Prove me wrong. And it's insane. It is insane. So virtual all year long. Are you teaching from home or are you virtual in your classroom? How's it working?
Nope. Virtual from school every day.
Well, which is probably easier, right? To have all your stuff there. No? Is it? Do you see how positive I was trying to be?
I wouldn't get out of the bed on time, and it probably wouldn't be good.
That's good. So how many students do you have each day virtually?
The most I've had is 19, but right now I have 17. So it's not a terrible number.
But they're all on are they all on at the same time?
Yes and no. So I have like 2 whole group times, and then the rest of the day is split into small groups.
Wow.
So it's the whole group's not even that bad because I've gotten really good at hitting that mute button really fast.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. To stay
I can only imagine what virtual teachers like you who are teaching full-time virtual have seen and heard over the course of this school year.
It's not good.
So let's talk real quick before we get into ESGI talk, because I know that science is a big passion of yours, from Senior Present. About how have you taken something like that is so important to you and made that work in a virtual space? Has it been? I'm sure it's been hard, but how have you made something like that happen this year?
So our schedule was made for us, so I really didn't have a choice in how I was teaching. But so Monday through Friday is just reading and math. And then on Fridays, we've been doing science, social studies, and writing, which has really been more like science and writing.
Well, you know what? I remember my kids, so our school went half days for the first, well, until March, really. We were in person all year where my kids go to school and where Trisha teaches. We were in person, but only half days. And part of that was due to construction going on our school. There wasn't a lunchroom, so there was no place for us to like spread out for lunches. but I remember like when they were at school, they were learning reading and math, and then science and social studies, like you said, writing was kind of do it on your own in the afternoon or virtually. Not that I don't think that's important, because those are just as important subjects, but it's got to be challenging to try to fit that in a virtual space.
Yep. And it's kind of sad because like there literally is no time. So like, I mean, it makes sense that we had to cut it out because there's no time. But then I'm like, was I really the best teacher I could have been this year? Because we do all of these things. And I'm like, ooh, they getting first grade. It's got to be kind of rough.
Right.
But
well, you know what I've been telling teachers in sessions that I've been doing with teachers, trying to pump them up in workshops I've been doing virtually, I've tried to get across that there is no way for you to consider yourself the best teacher ever this year, right? Like, you know, you've been doing your best, and your best has got to be good enough. You got to believe that. But I keep telling people you can be the best teacher possible for this type of setting. And I think that's really important for teachers to remember. Is this going to be one of those years you look back on and say, man, that was the year I was the best teacher I've ever been? Probably not, right? But you're making it the best that you possibly can for your students given the situation. And I think that's why teachers need to be praised for the work they're doing this year, because they're doing everything they can to make it the best year possible that they can. So I know from knowing you and following you that you are doing that. You are doing the best that you possibly can. So don't ever doubt yourself at all.
oh, thank you. It's rough though. Like, no matter if I was in person is rough. Mm-hmm. Hybrid, oh, that's just a whole nother, I don't even
know. Well, I've tried to give my wife that same speech all year long. Like, you are doing the best you can. It's a challenge.
Yep. No matter what you do.
Right. Oh. Well, let's talk about ESGI. We're here because I know you are a great friend of ESGI, someone who has used it, someone who has supported the program. How have you made ESGI work for you this year in a virtual space? Has it worked out well for you? How are you communicating with parents through it? What have you been able to do with ESGI in a virtual space that you might not have been able to do before?
So I just have to start by saying, because I was remote all year, I don't know what I would have done to assess my kids. Like, I would have been like probably crying. And because we do progress reports and full report cards, and it's all standards based, and so it's a lot. Like, there's no way I have to, like, you know, assess them multiple times. It's not like I can just get like an end of the 9 weeks and see, oh, this is what you got. No, like, I have to check the progression, and there's no way I would have been able to keep up with all of that in a manner that made sense and was organized if it wasn't for ESGI. Because, oh my gosh.
Well, we love to hear that.
Yes, like, I'm so happy. I was already very
familiar. Mm-hmm. It's amazing you say that now. And I just heard from some of the members of ESGI, like, the work for, so I work with the company. I don't really say I work for the company. I work with the company. But people who work for the company had reached out to me and some other teachers and said, you know, we're just trying to get an idea. We're trying to get an idea. What else have you seen or have you maybe used in your own time teaching that can do virtually what this can do in ESGI, or that can do this virtually that this can do in ESGI? And I was like, not just because I love you guys, and I'm not trying to, like, brown nose with ESGI a little bit here, but there's nothing. Like, I've never, ever used something that would have worked the way it worked in a virtual space this year.
Yep. So the best thing was literally, like, I'm so happy they added it was last year or it might have been 2 years ago when they added the student screen share. Oh my gosh, life changer. Yep. Because of all of my tests now are done through the computer, and which is, it's different, you know, in person too, because you don't like them to see what you're clicking, because, you know, you have some little nosies that like to see if you're clicking. Like, they just learn after a while whether they got it. And so now, because I can do that, I have my iPad up with what I'm clicking on, and then on the computer, that's what I share for my kids. And it has been so easy to just do that and flip through kids, because the way I've done it with the way our schedule was, I've set up like 15 minutes for every child every week. So they just log time, and it's usually like I've had to take like my lunch time to get everybody in, but it's worth it. And then go through whatever I need to assess, and then the next child gets on, and it's so fast. Like,
That's awesome.
but you already know.
No, but that's
Yeah.
amazing to hear other people, because I say it all the time, but that's why we need to hear other people say it too. People are sick of hearing Adam talk about how fast it can be and how awesome it is. But here's the thing I would say is, like, ESGI was doing virtual progress monitoring before virtual progress monitoring was a needed thing. You know, like, this has been around. It's been something you can do. But like you said, the addition of student screen was definitely a game changer, because I had students when, and you know, kindergartners, my
Mm-hmm.
little ones all the time would be like, well, why'd you click no? I told you what. I'm like, well, because you got it wrong. Like, that's why I clicked no. And to have that opportunity for them just to see the question on the screen, and not only just to see that they can't see what you're clicking, but we all have little students who get distracted by every little thing that they see on a screen, right? So to be able to just to show them the one thing that you want them to say without seeing all of their text on screen is huge. So those of you watching that might not know, what Keri mentioned there is an ability in ESGI called Student Screen that's free with your ESGI accounts. You find it in your settings and right there on the homepage too, where you can actually launch a screen on a second device, so that if I was a student and Keri was my teacher, she could send me a code to sign up. I'd go right onto my computer at home. I would use that 4-digit code, and as soon as Keri started the test from her classroom, I would see it pop up simultaneously on my screen at home, but all I would see is the question. So Keri would say, Adam, what letter is that on your screen? And all I would see is the letter. I wouldn't see any other distractions, and I could tell her, and she could click yes or no on her end, and it would automatically flip to the next question on my screen. So it kind of adds, like you said, another life changer, a game-changing factor to doing an assessment through a shared screen, right? Which can be done. ESGI can be done over Zoom, Google Meets, whatever it is that you use, but you still run into that problem of the students seeing what you're doing. Where with student screen, they don't see anything. They just go right through the test. They don't know if they got it right or wrong, and you're just clicking away. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's awesome.
I don't have to shuffle through cards. I don't have to. It's just, and I hate shuffling through cards, especially now because doing subtraction and addition. And so when we have to do all of the facts, we have to go through every fact to make sure they're fluent for like everything up to 5. I would be sitting going like this, and then trying to write down which one they got, which ones they didn't get. Instead of doing that, we literally go through it this fast. We're going through telling me the number, telling me the number, telling me the number. Look really quickly, and then I message the parents and let them know how they did that fast just by looking at their report. Like,
that's awesome.
It's so fast. Like, one little boy I did last week, his mom was wanting to know how he was doing, and when we were doing his addition facts, it's something I wouldn't have noticed if I was doing cards.
Right.
But back to look at the ones he missed all of the ones plus 1, and like I wouldn't have really noticed that if I was just doing hard, but I'm able to look at the report, and I was like, oh, everyone that had a 1 in it, he missed it, or he went like really slow with it. And so I was able to tell him, oh, hey, this is something you can work on, because for some reason he's not getting all of the plus 1.
And that's such a great point too, is that with other things I've done in the past, and even when I was doing like pencil and paper assessments, you really just got a number, right? Like, okay, they know this many or they don't know this many, or they passed or they did not pass. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think that's one thing that people who aren't ESGI users yet, and maybe are kind of thinking about dabbling in it or thinking about it, is you get everything. Like, you find out exactly what the child knows and what they, don't know as soon as you finish that assessment. And I'm so glad you brought up the fact too that you're doing this weekly, because I know when we all hear the word assessment or progress monitor or reporting, we think about progress report time or report card time, right? And that's the beauty of ESGI too, is it's so fast and so easy that you could do this. I mean, there are teachers who do this daily. Like, they pull kids over and boom, 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 go through letters, and then, like you said, telling the parents. So that was another question I had, was what are you using as far as reports go in ESGI, or how are you communicating with parents to share the data? What have you found to be most useful for you in a virtual space to share ESGI with the parents?
So I use the same thing that I used when I was in person too. I just print off well, not print off. Now I just use the PDF of the parent report and
Awesome.
just send it in our little communication thing. So it takes me like 2 minutes, probably not
That's
even
awesome.
2 minutes. Save it, pop it over in our thing, and send it. And so that is the easiest.
Perfect. Perfect. And you know what? The thing about that too is I love that with that ability to send a PDF like that, that PDF as well. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I want to make sure viewers know that PDF that Keri is sending home, parents, exactly what their child got right and exactly what they got wrong. It's not just for the teacher. I mean, it's great for the teacher because, like you said, you're not checking off on paper while you're trying to flip through cards, but then to have the ability to show the parents, you know, and as a parent whose kids' teachers have used ESGI, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I knew what to expect, but if I was a parent that didn't know what to expect, and to no longer get a plus check minus, pass fail, an A, B, C, D grade, but to get here's what you need to work on at home. I mean, it's life changing for parents.
Especially with kindergarten, because a lot of parents don't realize there is so much that we do in kindergarten. A lot of them just think, oh, they just play and they color and they this and they that. Oh no, there's a lot going down all the skills. They're like, they have to know how to do all of this. Absolutely.
Yep.
And so they have to remember, because if I'm just talking to a parent, I'm saying they need to know this, this, and this, they don't remember any. If I hand them that paper in person or if I give them that paper digitally, they can look back and refer to that. And so it's made my life so much easier over, I don't even know how long I've been on using ESGI, probably seven years maybe. It's been a while.
Time
But
flies when you're having fun, right? Like,
I will
so
never go back to anything else
no,
ever.
no, 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 no. So what do you have any idea of what your year is going to look like next year? Have they come up with a plan yet? It's all up in
No,
the air.
I think it's going to be all in person, is what I
Okay.
think.
Well, I feel like we're
Who
on the right
knows?
track. I feel, I mean, I'm kind of trying to be positive, but I feel like we're on the right track for that. Ever since this has started, I have always used the phrase when this is over, not if this is over, because I know it's going to be done someday. Life will get back to, education is going to get back to teaching the way teaching should be. So when this is done, I hope that you are able to get back to teaching the way that you want to teach. But I can't imagine there's a single parent that's complaining about having their child in a virtual class with you this year. I'm sure they are loving it because they're, like I said, they're getting the best experience possible in the year of 2021. So keep patting yourself on the back, Keri, because you deserve it. I know you're working harder than you ever have before, but I applaud you for all you're doing, and thank you for continuing to use ESGI even in the virtual space. We love that.
I wouldn't do anything else.
I love it that you're just like, yeah, Adam, of course. I'm not going to do it.
That is the question.
I love that. Well, thank you. Tell everybody how they can follow you, find you. Another thing I want to bring up is I have been following your Instagram feed and absolutely love all the digital slide stuff that you're sharing out. So you got to share that with teachers right now. How can they find these amazing products that you're putting together?
My Instagram website is all Enchanted Kindergarten, and I do create lots of digital because I'm just obsessed with it and love helping my kindergartners love to use digital and learn through using digital things. So yeah, like he said, you can check out my Instagram if you want to see.
Yeah, they're so cool. I love the little videos and graphics you put together to show them off, but all of the things I've seen you create are definitely things. I know I'm working with preschoolers and kindergartners right now. I know they would love to use them, so I'm gonna have to pick up some of that stuff for sure because it's amazing work that you're doing. I don't know how you're finding time on top of virtual teaching to create, but when you're using it yourself, I'm sure it makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, everyone, enchantedkindergarten.com. Make sure you check it out. Follow Keri right here on Instagram. And in the meantime, while you're looking up all her amazing stuff, don't forget that you have 3 more days. You have until Friday, April 30th to take advantage of, if you're not an ESGI user, take advantage of a 6-month free trial, which is, like I say every week, unheard of. It's unheard of. So follow our Instagram feed to check out all those contests. And not really a contest, but to find out how to sign up And then also, we just announced today a new promo with our Show Your ESGI Spirit campaign going on to find out how you can win a classroom makeover from our friends at Berteau & Co. So check that out. The video is just posted on our feed tonight. But yeah, find it all there. You can see that. Follow Keri. And until next time, hopefully soon we can see you on the road, Keri. Thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for sharing with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Good luck in this home stretch of your year, too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.